think it's easy to be worried about people's opinions or what people think about you. But as soon as you realize that it's not that deep, people, you know, you just open yourself up to a new world of things. Because, you know, if I cared about what people thought about what I was doing, then I would be 10 steps back. Hi KLAT, my name is Ben Ellis, and this is my Get to Know Me with KLAT. I think the next project that I'm doing is heavily influenced on the kind of trip that I took to Los Angeles, just because I think it's the first experience I've had writing with friends and like people who I trust as a writer. So I think that it has allowed me to be a bit more honest with my music. So I think with Hollywood, it felt like the first time I was being properly honest with my music. Not that I haven't been before, but I think this time it just felt the most pure version of myself, I guess, which is really exciting. And I think that it's shown me how important writers are as well in a process of writing songs, because I chose the room of the artists that I wanted to work with, so specifically for the song that I was writing, and they just made it into something that was so perfect for me, and the song just resonates with me so much more because I got other people's experiences in the music industry, and it all just came into this one kind of song that I'm so proud of, really. And yeah, it definitely, I think writing with other people and working with other people is the main thing about that song. It just makes me so proud about the writing process, really. But yeah. It's insane. It's crazy. I mean, for us to kind of work with Maya Beth, for example, and do a whole music video with her has been the most insane experience, because, you know, I don't know, it's nice to see that someone believes in your project as much as you believe in it yourself. And, you know, she wouldn't have done that if she didn't believe in what I was doing. And, you know, she starred in the music video, she supported it so much on Radio 1, and that's just invaluable for me, really. I think, like, it's crazy to see that someone believes in what I'm doing as much as I do. And then with Molly as well, I did an interview with her, and it's just so, when someone's being so lovely, it's someone that you're so inspired by. I mean, she was in the Saturdays, which, I mean, everyone loved back in the day. So it was just very surreal getting to speak with someone who was seemingly as enthused by what you were talking about as you are. And yeah, I think it's just massively impacted my career, because it just shows me that people believe in what I'm doing and that I can just keep going and keep doing it, really. But yeah. I think quite a lot. I think my first EP has definitely laid the groundwork for where I want to, you know, who I want to be as an artist. But I think it was slightly treading the water, because it was my first real experiences with songwriting and releasing music, and so it's nice that with the next EP I feel like I'm evolving to what I really think is my own sound. And yeah, I think the first EP is very poppy, but the next project feels like a bit of a push of the boundaries of what the genre I kind of am in, and I think that's amazing. It's all my influences, all the people that I love, and really coming together. So I definitely think that I've kind of grown in the next project into something that I'm really proud of. So hard. I think songwriting especially, it's like this painstaking, like horrible process sometimes, where you go into a session and sometimes you don't get the right thing, or sometimes it doesn't really work out. But it's always that like one golden nugget of a session, or when you're writing on your own, where you write something and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like so good. And you just listen to it so much, and you keep listening to it because you're so proud of what you've made. And I've had moments in sessions where I've just been so excited by what we're making, and that's just a feeling that you can't describe. Like no one else can, you know, in any creative industry, I think people can understand that one moment where they're just like, I love what I'm doing, because you're just like, all of the work that's got to that point is just so worth it. And then I'd also say playing live is just the reason why everyone does it, really. I write all my songs with the idea of playing them live with a band someday, which I haven't done yet, but I really hope like I will get to that soon. It's like, I did one gig quite recently and people were singing back like words to me, and that was, couldn't even describe to you how exciting that was. And I remember coming backstage after the show and just thinking, what just happened? Like, just surreal and insane. So I would say live is definitely probably the main reason why I do what I do, I'd say. Insane, really. It's been, I think you get to learn a lot from every artist that you support, and every support show is different. I've had support shows where it feels like you're busking, really, and everyone's just kind of talking, but that makes you learn so many things because you don't take yourself as seriously. But I've also had, you know, shows where I think other people have like really like listened to what I'm doing and have really kind of like enjoyed my set, and that's really cool. But also just the artists can be so inspiring to see their performances and to see how kind of how much they love what they do and how they perform on stage. Yeah, so I think that you learn so much from every support show that you do, and from every artist that you support. There's so much to take down after you like are sitting in bed that night thinking about the show, really. But I love it. I love it. I think it started out through TikTok Live. I remember doing TikTok Lives through lockdown every single day, and that's kind of how I started doing music. And I think that has really impacted me positively in the long run, because you have such a great kind of relationship with your fans, or like people who listen to your music, and I think that I definitely have quite a unique relationship with the people who listen to my music over some other artists, because I've just got this opportunity where I've been speaking to them pretty much one-on-one on live, and that's been really interesting from when you then meet them in person, because it's almost like they know, you know, I know who they are in some ways, and that's been really cool. And they also like to have a bit of a laugh and a joke with me. Like if you look on my my like posts, most of them are filled with hate comments from people who actually have been really supportive to me. It's just like, it's the way that it kind of works. But I love that. That's my personality anyway. So it's nice to have people who are able to laugh and joke with me about you know, my music and what I'm doing. I always want it to be a bit of a carefree atmosphere, so I'm glad that we get to kind of take the mick a little bit. It's cool. But yeah. I think the next EP is, well, I just think in general, like I'm just kind of pushing the boundaries on what I want my artistry to be. I think that for me, my favorite artists have been a huge, you know, circle of music, really. It's like Harry Styles, for example. People can be fans of Harry Styles for his upbeat songs, but others can be fans of his sad songs, you know. And I want to kind of make my discography a little bit more rounded and for people to see lots of different sides of me, because I have so many influences that aren't really in the pop style that I've written songs that you know about. And I think my new song, Hollywood, is very much in that vein of a little less just generic pop kind of form, and it's more just kind of a ramble, which is kind of inspired by artists like Medium Build and even Ed Sheeran, really, in some ways. And so I think that that's really exciting, because I feel like I'm saying more now than I was before. And yeah, I'm just excited for people to hear it, really. I think, you know, that's the reason why we do what we do, is just through wanting to connect to people through what we want to say, and hope that people resonate with what you say, and but I really believe that people will resonate with the stuff that I'm going to be putting out. Yeah, it's exciting, very exciting. That's the hardest question, because it's like, what do I like to do? I think I've been quite consumed by the music stuff. I think when you're so involved on social media and things, that sometimes it can get quite swept away. But honestly, my favourite pastimes, I guess, is just hanging out with my friends, really, which is the most cliche answer ever, really. But I wouldn't really be anywhere if it wasn't for my friends. So getting to spend time with them is always the best parts for me. I'm not very good on my own, so I'm like always enjoy getting connection from other people. So yeah, I would say that's most of the time. If I'm not doing music stuff, I'm trying to convince someone to hang out at some point. A conception on music or any creative industry or any creative art is that it's so hard to make the jump until you've made the jump, and then it's the easiest thing in the world. I think it's easy to be worried about people's opinions or what people think about you, but as soon as you realize that it's not that deep, people, you just open yourself up to a new world of things. Because if I cared about what people thought about what I was doing, then I would be 10 steps back. And I think that as soon as you surround yourself around the people who genuinely support you and are always asking you how things are going and always are eager to be involved in your life and involved in what you want to do, it becomes the easiest thing in the world. So I would just say surround yourself with people who genuinely believe that you can do something with what you're doing, and then just do it, because it's the hardest thing in the world to start, but as soon as you've started, you don't look back. It's just amazing. Within reason, sometimes you doubt things, but I think it's worth it for sure. Oh God, I mean, my friends would tell me my phone, which is the worst answer ever, really. I think, yeah, I sometimes can be a bit consumed by my phone and stuff, but I'm also like the worst at texting, which is just quite like a strange one. But yeah, I would say that, unfortunately, which is definitely a habit I want to break. I'd love to get into like reading or something that didn't involve the insane amount of stuff that comes out on social media. But yeah, unfortunately, I would say my phone or my tote bag. Tote bags are so important, but yeah, I would probably just have to say my phone. Getting out a project, that's the main thing. I was so lucky to go to Los Angeles just now and experiencing the huge serotonin dump of doing so much work, and then to coming back home and not really having that. But I'm very excited, because when we were away, we were just creating this world for this project that we've created, and I'm just excited to share that. I also would love to do something positive with the Welsh music industry. I think it's so important to shed a bit of light on music here. I think that it's just such an important part of Wales is the music, and I think that it would be really cool to kind of look into the pop scene, because there's not much pop music in Wales. There's some amazing artists that I know, but I'd love for them to be seen and recognised a lot more. So I'd love to do something that could be a positive impact on that, even if it's the tiniest impact, as long as I would love to do something for that. But yeah, I think it's just very exciting. I'm just literally so eager and antsy to get started, really, because there's so many things that are going on that I'm just so excited to get onto. But yeah, I have high hopes. Fingers crossed, I come back to this and I'm like, yeah, I was right, or either I'm going to be kicking myself, but who knows, I'm very excited.